All right, like to thank you for playing some high stakes Kahoot today with us. Hopefully, you're nailing the simple, complex, and compound. Although, our real goal is not just can you identify them in a little quizzes or a game, but are you using them in your writings to make you sound more fluent, more interesting, and craft more sophisticated pieces? So, with that, we are going to move to learning our last little part of speech here that goes along with our unit, and that is the mighty interjection. Interjections, fun, punchy little words you might say if you drop a hammer on your foot, little bleeps. But they express emotion and voice. They're not sentences, but they can be infused throughout your writing as standalones, just little punchy words, phrases you use that express strong emotion. So, with that, I'm going to kick it over to Schoolhouse Rocks so you can figure out what is the function of an interjection.
When Reginald was home with flu, the doctor knew just what to do. He cured the infection with one small injection, while Reginald uttered some interjections.
Hey, that's smart! Ouch, that hurts! Yeah, that's not fair! Giving a guy a shot down there!
Interjections.
Hey!
No excitement.
Yeah!
Emotion.
Ouch!
They're generally set apart from a sentence by an exclamation point or by a comma when the feeling's not as strong. Though Geraldine played hard to get, Geraldo knew he'd woo her. Yes, he showed his affection despite her objections, and Geraldine hollered some interjections.
Well, you've got some nerve. Oh, I've never been so insulted in all my life. Hey, you're kind of cute.
Interjections.
Well,
no excitement or emotion.
Hey.
Generally set apart from a sentence by an exclamation point or by a comma when the feeling's not as strong. So when you're happy,
Hooray!
or sad, or frightened, or mad,
Rat!
or excited, wow, or glad,
Hey!
an interjection starts a sentence right. The game was tied at 7-all. When Franklin found he had the ball, he made a connection in the other direction, and the crowd started shouting out interjections.
You threw the wrong way.
Darn, you just lost the game.
Hooray, I'm for the other team.
Interjections. Excitement.
Darn.
Emotion.
Hooray!
Generally set apart from a sentence by an exclamation point or by a comma when the feeling's not as strong. So when you're happy,
Hooray!
or sad, or frightened, or mad,
Rat!
or excited, wow, or glad,
Hey!
an interjection starts a sentence right. Interjections.
Hey!
No excitement
Hey!
or emotion.
Hey!
They're generally set apart from a sentence by an exclamation point or by a comma when the feeling's not as strong. Interjections. No excitement or emotion. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Darn, that's the end.
Okay, so today's work is under the sentence and it's called Tuesday, interjection and comma work. So make your way over to your English Google Classroom and you're looking for Tuesday, interjection and comma work. I'll pull my piece up so you can see what it looks like. You know you're in the right place. If it pops up and Tuesday's at the top and it says, wow, see you in a sec. Okay, so right here, go ahead and write down, what do interjections do? What is the function of an interjection in our language? So think, go ahead and write something down. I will pause. Okay, so I hope that you came up with that interjections express strong emotion. So interjections express strong emotion. And when we're really excited and we're like, hey, that's wonderful news, and we want to use exclamation points. If it's just like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, comma. You can just go with a comma. Like, hey, can you pass the potatoes? So it depends on how you're feeling, but they're just short little punchy words. They can stand alone like, hey, or yes. Okay? So I'm going to give you some scenarios, and I want you to decide what kind of interjection would fit this situation. So number one, write in a school appropriate interjection that you would say after you find a $20 bill in your coat pocket. Go for it. Punctuate it with an interjection. All right. So you might say yes. You might say righteous. You might say awesome. All right. What would be an appropriate interjection you would yell after your team wins the championship? Okay. Okay. And an interjection you might mutter or mumble or yell when you stub your toe. Bleep. Okay, no, something appropriate. Go for it. Okay. So those are fun little interjections. They add voice to our writing. Yeah, no, they don't, they're not a sentence, but they're just infuse some life in our writing. And so now I need you to do a think. There's a misconception between interjections and onomatopoeia. So I want you to think about what is the difference. We have yay versus pow. So what is the difference between interjections and onomatopoeia? I will pause and I want you to think that over. You may talk about it with your podmates. Go for it. So interjections and onomatopoeia are similar in that they're both short one-word pieces that we put throughout our writing. They can be punctuated with an exclamation point. Difference is that interjections are actual words, spoken words like, wow, this stuffing is delicious, or wow, we're going to eat at 2:00, so come over by 1. Onomatopoeia are actually sound words like whoosh, bam, splat, my favorite, boom. Okay, so you add some sound words in your piece. The other ones are actual words to express emotion. So they're alike in that they're short, punchy little things, but go ahead and write right here. Interjections are actual emotion words, whereas onomatopoeias are sound words. Okay, I'll pause if you need to take a second there. All right, and our last thing for today, we're going to play around with a comma a little bit. You know from before that commas save lives. If you have Rachel finds inspiration in cooking her family and her dog, it sounds like she's boiling her nieces and nephews and putting, a little Rex in a big cauldron on top of the stove. That sounds creepy, right? But you say she finds inspiration in cooking, comma, her family, comma, and her dog. When you have a series or a list, we add commas. We also use commas when you have direct address. Let's eat Grandpa. Well, that's disgusting. He'd be all wrinkly and tough anyway. You don't want to eat him. But if you're directly talking to him, you put, let's eat, comma, Grandpa. Like you're inviting Grandpa to supper versus Grandpa being on the actual menu. So use commas. Don't be a psycho. And we're going to just do just a couple here. But where an end mark, like a period or an exclamation point, is a full stop, a comma is just a pause. And now that we're getting into crafting more interesting sentences, like the compound, the complex sentence, those open with commas after the introductory phrase, we need to learn just some of the rules, how to use them. And I think we've kind of learned them along the way. So some people go comma crazy and other people never use them, but you just know the rules, okay? We learned recently that we use a comma to separate two independent clauses, two sentences, to make a compound. Like summer camp was over, comma, and we all felt sad. Here's a sentence, you join it with a comma to indicate we're going to add a second sentence, and my thought continues. Commas in a series, right? You're rattling off all the things you want to order, or the beverages today include milk, comma, pop, comma, and tea, or we have Pepsi products. We will be offering Mountain Dew, comma, Pepsi, comma, Diet Pepsi, okay, etc. So when you have a series, so we're just going to do exercise 1. I'm going to do the first 3 with you, and then I'll hand over the second 3 to you. So number 1, I was foolish to have trusted you, but I won't make that mistake again. Where would the comma go? Looks like I have a sentence here. I was foolish to have trusted you. I have a conjunction, and then the sentence continues. So I'm going to put it in front of my conjunction, comma goes in front of but. Put a comma in front of your but there. Number 2, there's no furniture in the tiny cabin, nor was there any source of light. Again, I see 2 sentences joined with a conjunction. There's no furniture, comma, nor was there any source of light. Number 3, looks like we have commas in a series. My sister collects stamps, coins, bottle caps. So after each item, you pause. Stamps, comma, coins, comma, and bottle caps. Check out number 4. Her favorite authors were Dickens, Twain, and Poe. We need to add Dickens, comma, Twain, comma, and Poe. Okay, I will pause. I'd like you to do number 5 and number 6, and then we'll come back and we'll check. Go for it. All right, and here you have it. You have commas in a series. Sue swept the sidewalk, comma, raked the leaves, comma, and painted the mailbox. You have a comma separating each thing she did. And lastly, we decided whom we should invite, comma, where we would go, comma, what we would serve. Let's go to our final couple exercises. This is what we just learned. When you have an introductory word like well or oh or yes, you throw down a comma. No, comma, you cannot leave early. No, I will not go out with you. Well, comma, we need a moment to decide. And then, like, let's eat grandpa, when you're directly talking to somebody, like, Natalie, comma, go to your room, I might say to my daughter. So you, comma, young man, are in big trouble. So commas when you're directly talking to someone. So I'll do the first couple with you. Please, I do not want to hear that song again. I'm going to throw down a comma after the word please. It's an introductory word, an interjection. Number 2, he walked to school today, but he forgot his backpack. Where should we put the comma there? So we're separating 2 separate words, independent clauses. A compound sentence, again, goes in front of but. And number 3, it looks like commas in a series. I cleaned under the tables, behind the desk, and along the window ledges. So I put a comma under each activity, that where you cleaned at, rather, after each prepositional phrase. Under the tables, comma, behind the desk, comma, and along the window ledges. So just go ahead and try 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8, and then we'll go over the answers. I will pause. All right, answers. Number 4, oh, comma, how can we win against these odds? Number 5, Mr. Ames, comma, do you wish to order that size again when you're directly addressing someone? Number 6, commas between 2 independent clauses. He got good grades on all his daily work, comma, yet he failed his tests. And number 7, no, comma, I do not wish to see that same movie again. And lastly, directly speaking to someone, I don't think, comma, Sammy, comma, you should ever go there again. All right, so that wraps up our work with commas in a series, commas with combining compound sentences, commas in direct address, and commas with interjections. And so I want to just preview your Wednesday work, and then the rest of your time today is for you to go back to enjoy your cozy reading books, or maybe you want to play quizzes again to review, or you could even get a jump on your Wednesday work. Google Classroom, you will find under the sentence, I will pull that up in just a sec. Okay, it's called Sentence Structure Chart, and it's a whopping 5 sentences that is your assessment on this little mini unit. So you're going to write sentences on winter, on the idea of winter. We have example sentences below, but please craft your own on this topic, okay? They have to be completely different. So it's called Snowy Sentence Structure Showcase, and you need an adjective opener, like bright and glistening, comma, the snow blanketed my yard. You need a prepositional phrase like in under the moonlight, comma, the snow, etc. You will need a complex sentence in a whoobis, as, after, although. Please join 2 sentences with a conjunction for a compound. And then we need a sentence that begins with an interjection like, oh, comma, the snow is beautiful, or no, comma, I hate snow. So if you scroll and roll down, there are examples for you to use. So that is tomorrow's work, and it'll be due tomorrow night at 11:59. So the choice is yours now if you want to get a start, or you can go back to reading or move on to your next class. Thanks for your work with a sentence, and we'll see you later.